Hello, thanks for joining me. This is another video in my series of church visits. St Michael's, Penbryn in Ceredigion is a picturesque church in an equally picturesque setting on a hilltop above the beautiful blue sea of Ceredigion Bay. This is a Grade 1 listed building, but it's not grand or sumptuous, quite the reverse. This is a humble country church, and inside it has a medieval roof, a very rare thing here. The walls are whitewashed rubble. They have a very obvious batter at the base. The bell cut is medieval, there never was a tower here. The porch is probably 17th century, though rubble walls lack decorative elements that would help dating, and it's a good and very harmonious addition. Above the door is this bier, used to carry coffins since 1835, and a reminder to the parishioners who entered and left through this door that one day it would carry them in here for their funeral and out to the churchyard. Something to concentrate their mind on the service on entering and their morals for the rest of the week as they left. This font wasn't here in 1835. It's actually from Kenarth Church and was kicked out to make room for another one, equally ancient but more elaborate, taken from a church in Pembrokeshire, and this is actually the third church this nomadic font has lived in. And here we are in the nave, the oldest part of the church, probably 12th century, with another square font. That's a late Victorian window with very outdated wooden tracery. And now the glory of the place, a medieval collar rafter roof. It was boarded up for a century, but revealed in the 1950s by the architect Alban Caro, who also painted the pews grey and reopened a blocked medieval window in the chancel. The Victorian pews date from the 1880s, work done here by local architect David Davis of Penbryn, who was not exactly a talented church architect. His work is always very much behind the times and a bit amateurish, but what he did here was fairly low impact. He did excavate the floor and disturbed a lot of burials, and one 17th century ledger stone has been retained. It's leaning up against the chancel arch. From dust of earth, as Moses durst affirm, God formed our Father first. But do you grant it so or no? To dust and earth you see we go. Low, low in earth we both do lie. So must you, reader, when you die. Behind the 1894 pulpit and the later wooden eagle lectern is a tomb recess, and in it a most unfortunate bell, which looks as though it took a tumble. The chancel arch is the original, very plain medieval one, and behind the organ is a piscina for washing mass vessels. So what's that doing in the nave? Well, the chancel is a later addition, possibly 13th or 14th century. Seen from the outside, it's very lopsided. The church was extended to the north, and that's when the roof would have been put in. The chancel roof is still boarded, and there's probably also a collar rafter roof under here. Back inside, you can see the northward extension has given unequal walls to the sides of the chancel arch. Another tomb recess is in here, and there are late Victorian fittings and an Eisteddfod chair from 1928, given to the church in 1966. The east window is a Victorian gift, and the altar cross was given in memory of the local author Alan Raine, who was buried in the churchyard here and who was married here. She loved this place, and it hasn't changed much since her death in 1908, about the time this photograph was taken. I can see why she liked this church so much. It's what they used to call quaint. It's delightfully irregular. It has an odd collection of donated secular furniture, including some old tram benches behind the pews, and it has a hodgepodge of windows of different periods and styles. Somehow it all sits together well, and its atmospheric simplicity makes it one of my favourite places to go when I want a little peace and quiet. If you'd like to visit and experience it for yourself, I can thoroughly recommend a trip here. It is, thankfully, usually open. I do hope you enjoyed this short tour. And as always, thank you for watching.